going on, dudes and dudettes? So yeah, quick RIP to Kobe Bryant's father, Joe Bryant. I think his nickname was Jelly Bean Bryant. But yeah, sadly he passed away a couple days ago, and I think he was age 69. So yeah, sucks that he lost him pretty early, but now he gets to join his son up in heaven, so that's always a nice thing to think about. And then Team USA did play one of their other showcase games, and it's against Serbia with the number one player pretty much in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. But it seems like he's the only best player on that team because Team USA was able to take them pretty handily, 105-79, and even Anthony Davis had 6 blocks as well in that game. So yeah, very cool to see those highlights. I haven't been able to watch them live because they've been playing pretty early because they're playing in like Abu Dhabi, something like that, and I think they're playing somewhere else even more on that Olympic time zone area, so they could get at least used to the time and not be lagging and just getting there late in Paris. But yeah, hopefully this will help them out, and they looked definitely a lot better in this game. We're able to close it out and win big too, so I was happy to see that. Then when it came to Caleb Williams, the ex-USC quarterback, he did sign his 4-year, $39 million rookie deal. Being the first number 1 overall pick, I think he got a little bit more money than last year's number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, to Carolina. I think he only had like $37 million, something like that. But I don't know. Either way, I guess it's due to the fact that the NFL is making more money, so I guess they could pay these guys a little bit more. But it's not like Caleb really cares about the money as much because he did make quite a bit of money at USC in the last couple of years. But I think he was one of the last guys, especially in the first round, to sign. So yes, at least he is officially signed and out there and practicing. So that was cool to see some of those highlights from practice. And then, yeah, Gary Trent Jr., ex-Duke guy, he finally signed with the team. Sadly, ended up being with the Milwaukee Bucks. I know I wanted him on the Lakers. I thought the Lakers were going to try to make some moves to get him on their thing, but apparently he signed like a regular veteran minimum deal, which was a bit surprising because it's like if the Lakers just needed to get rid of one guy on their roster, they could have done that and signed him easily if he was going to take that type of contract. But I guess they kind of offered him like a starting role and more minutes and stuff compared to what he would be doing with the Lakers, even if he were to be getting more money if they moved some more pieces out. And everybody just assumed he was going to be going to LA because he is a Clutch Sports client who are very good friends with LeBron. But obviously that it didn't end up working that way, and I don't know if he has left them as representatives, but we'll see how that goes in the near future. Then, yeah, I guess the Chargers, some people around there are wondering if they should trade for 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk, because he has now pretty much officially requested a trade from the Niners. And I know throughout the draft and all this stuff, everything seemed pretty fine, but they did draft a wide receiver in that first round. I think it was Ricky Pearsall from Florida. So that kind of was a little bit of the writing on the wall that they might be looking to move one of Debo or Aiyuk. Now Aiyuk has officially asked for a trade, and a lot of teams are saying the Chargers should get in the mix. I kind of hope that they do because he will definitely be their number 1 wide receiver right away. But just to see what they have to give up for him, I don't know if he makes that much money, but then they will have to pay him within the next year or two, which they will have a lot of money next season. It's just depending when he wants to get that big contract done. But we'll have to wait and see where this guy lands. I know he's pretty good friends with Jaden Daniels, I believe, the rookie Washington Commanders quarterback, so he might end up going there as well. You never know. And the Lakers did finally get their Summer League win. I think they even played a couple more games before. They went into Vegas and still had not won at all this summer, but yes, luckily finally got the victory against Atlanta, and I think it was like a 1-point victory too, so they barely did. And I kind of understand why there's a lot of hate towards it's that they're misdirecting their hate. I know Bronny James is always on highlight clips and all this stuff, and he's just barely doing anything but blame ESPN and whoever else is putting up those highlights. Don't blame the kid because he's just doing his job trying to be an NBA player, but it's, you know, the media's fault for congratulating him on every single little thing he does. So blame them, don't blame him, and we'll see where he goes from here. And JJ Redick added a couple more coaches to his staff. I believe one was Lindsay Harding. She was the most recent G League Coach of the Year. And I believe she is also a Duke alum as well. So it was just really smart to get her in as one of the staff members. So that's pretty good for them. And then also a guy in the name of Bob Bayer was added to the staff as well. I think he was most recently with the Hornets, which you can say is probably not a good hire since they haven't been that good, but it's more the players and what they're being coached and taught and if they make it through injuries and all that stuff. So yeah, congrats to both of them, and hopefully they will be able to add to this Lakers staff and this Lakers team later in the year. And then, yes, one NBA scout recently said that Cooper Flagg, Duke's incoming freshman, is kind of a mix of Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Paul George, and Franz Wagner. So yeah, that's a pretty good mix of very talented, like mid to older players, and a couple of guys who are still coming up and doing it themselves. And Tatum and Wagner, a couple of guys that, if you're being comped to even just one or two of those at one time, you're looking like a pretty good guy. But he's already being compared to all of them. Maybe he's not as much of a Giannis just because I don't think he's going to physically mature like Giannis did. Because if you look at Giannis when he first came into the league, was drafted, it's like he's like strings and barely any muscle on him. And then all of a sudden, after a handful of years in the league and a couple more protein shakes, and he could see definitely he grew into his body and is still able to play very well. He maybe can't shoot the ball as well, probably because of that build, but he still is very athletic enough to get to the basket and very long enough too, so he didn't lose any of that length when he added that muscle. And I don't think Cooper Flagg just has that body that can add that much muscle, but either way, still looking forward to seeing what he can do. Plus, like I always say, he's a year technically behind because he should be going to his senior year of high school instead of his freshman year at Duke, but that's just how talented he is, and he was able to finish high school early, so we'll see. And then, yeah, Seth Curry, an ex-Duke guy, recently re-signed with the Hornets, which is pretty cool, so congrats to him. I know they need some more veteran leadership out there, and he was just recently traded to them right before the season ended, so I guess he decided to stay home and see what he can do, so good luck to him. And then Alohi Gilman, one of the safeties for the Chargers, apparently they did, I think it was PFF or somebody did, like the highest graded defender in each quarter. And according to them, Alohi Gilman of the Chargers was the highest graded first quarter defender of last year in 2023. So that's pretty interesting. I guess the only time to use him basically is the first quarter. Then after that, take him out because he probably ends up playing worse. But either way, I thought that was pretty interesting nugget of stat they threw out there. And then, yes, House of Victory had a couple signings to end this video off. It was Marquise Gallegos, the incoming freshman safety on the football side, and then Jalen Shelley, I believe he's also an incoming freshman on the basketball roster. So yeah, that's pretty cool. A couple of the younger new guys fresh into USC already getting on that House of Victory and making some money for themselves. So yeah, it's always a great place to be when you're able to do it for yourself instead of, just being thrown boatloads of money and then you don't end up turning out because that's all you cared about was some money, but how some schools out there are doing. But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny too that the SEC, which is supposedly considered the better conference, like Georgia, Alabama, all those teams, I don't know why Paul Feinbaum has been talking about USC so much and Lincoln Riley and all this stuff, and how that was like one of the main stories coming out of SEC media days, even though he's obviously not even in that conference. USC is not in that conference, but yet he's one of the leading stories coming out of there. Maybe they're just trying to hide some of those DUIs that a couple of those Georgia players ended up getting pretty recently. But either way, thought it was kind of weird. So yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.